Hello everyone and welcome back to our little corner of the internet. We are so happy you chose to spend some time with us today. This is a safe and cozy place for you to practice your English while we talk about some really interesting things. I am Liam.
And I am Emma. We are your hosts and your friends on this journey to better English. Today we have a topic that is honestly a little bit shocking. We are going to talk about a mystery and a bit of a scandal in the world of self-improvement.
I love a good mystery. But before we dive in, picture this in your mind. Imagine you are sitting in a library. You find a dusty old book that promises to tell you the secret of success. You read it, you follow the rules, and you start to feel better. But then, years later, you find out that the man who wrote the book made up almost every single story in it.
That would feel like a punch in the stomach, right? Like you were cheated. But before we get into the details of this huge scam, we have a tiny bit of housekeeping. If you enjoy our chats, please make sure to subscribe or follow us wherever you are listening. It really helps our community grow.
And we have a little challenge for you today. We want to hear from you in the comments or on our social media. Here is a sentence for you to finish. If I found out my favorite teacher or role model was lying to me, I would feel blank. Let us know what word you would put there.
I think I would feel betrayed. Speaking of lying, Liam, I have to be honest with you. I have a bit of a vulnerable story about this topic. A few years ago, I followed this online fitness coach. She seemed so perfect. She told stories about how she used to be very unhealthy, and then she changed her life using one specific type of tea.
Oh no, I think I know where this is going. Was it the tea?
I bought so much of that tea. I spent a lot of money because I believed her personal story. Then, an investigative journalist found out she never actually had those health problems, and she was actually using a secret personal trainer and a very strict diet she didn't tell us about. The tea was just a way to make money.
That is so disappointing. I think so many people know exactly how that feels. We want to believe in these transformation stories because they give us hope. It makes us feel like if they can do it, we can too.
Exactly. And that brings us to our main topic today. Did you know that some of the most famous self-help books in history, books that are still sold in millions of copies today, were built on stories that were completely fabricated?
Fabricated. That is a great word for our listeners. Fabricated means something was totally made up or invented, usually to trick people. So, Emma, are you talking about the famous book Think and Grow Rich?
That is the one. Napoleon Hill is the author. For decades, he told everyone that he spent years interviewing the richest man in the world at that time, Andrew Carnegie. He claimed Carnegie told him the secret laws of success.
But the truth came out, right? Historians looked into it and they couldn't find any record of them ever meeting.
None at all. Not a single letter, no mention in Carnegie's diary. Nothing. He also claimed to have met other famous people like Thomas Edison and several U.S. presidents. But again, there's no evidence. He basically created a mythical origin story to make himself look important.
That is a huge scam. I mean, if the foundation of the house is a lie, the whole house should fall down. But the crazy part is, the book is still a bestseller. People still swear by it. Why do you think that is?
This is the big question for today. Even though the stories were fake, some of the ideas in the book are actually quite good. He talked about goal clarity, which means having a very clear idea of what you want. He talked about persistence, which is not giving up when things get hard.
So, it is like a paradox. A paradox is a situation that seems impossible because it has two opposite qualities. In this case, the source is a lie, but the advice actually works for some people.
It really is a paradox. It raises an uncomfortable question. Can a fake story still deliver genuine value if people act on it? For example, if I tell you a fake story about a man who became a marathon runner by eating apples, and you believe me and start eating apples and running every day, you will get healthy. The result is real, even if my story was a lie.
I see your point, but it still feels wrong. It feels like the success of the book came more from brilliant marketing and emotional inspiration than from the truth. Hill was a very charismatic person.
Charismatic is another good word. A charismatic person has a special charm that makes people want to follow them or listen to them. Hill knew how to make people feel excited. He used a lot of "you can do it" energy.
But there is a danger there. Blind trust in charismatic experts is dangerous. If we don't look at the facts, we can be led down a very bad path.
I agree. That is why we should judge advice by whether it actually improves our life, not by how cool or famous the person giving the advice is. We have to be the detectives of our own lives. We should always test ideas ourselves.
Right. Instead of just believing a mythical origin story, we should focus on practical application. If someone says waking up at 5 a.m. will make you a billionaire, don't just believe them because they are wearing a fancy suit. Try it for a week and see if it actually helps your productivity.
Exactly. Real transformation depends on what you do every day, not on the stories you read. It is about your own hard work. The book might give you the spark, but you have to keep the fire burning.
It makes me think about how much we love gurus or experts. We want someone to have all the answers for us. It is easier to believe a lie than to admit that success is usually just a lot of boring, consistent work.
That is the hard truth, isn't it? We want the secret shortcut. Hill promised a secret, but the secret was just things we already knew, like working hard and staying positive, wrapped up in exciting but fake story.
So, what is the lesson here for our listeners? I think it is to be a bit more skeptical. To be skeptical means to have doubts or to not believe something immediately without proof.
Yes, be skeptical, but stay open-minded. You can still read these books. I still find some parts of those old books inspiring. But I don't treat them like a history book. I treat them like a collection of ideas that I need to test.
That is a very healthy way to look at it. Take what is useful and leave the rest behind. You don't have to throw away the whole book just because the author was a bit of a storyteller. But you also shouldn't give them your blind trust.
Well said, Liam. I think this is a great place to transition into our word tour. We use some really important words today that our listeners can use in their daily lives.
I agree. Let's look at 5 words from our conversation. The first word is fabricated.
Fabricated. This means something that is made up or invented, often to deceive or trick people. It is usually used for stories or evidence.
Example 1. The witness provided a fabricated story to the police. Example 2. Many of the details in his autobiography were later found to be fabricated. Now, repeat after me. Fabricated.
Our second word is paradox.
Paradox. A paradox is a situation or statement that seems to contradict itself or seems impossible, but it might actually be true.
Example 1. It is a strange paradox that the more you give, the more you seem to have. Example 2. The fact that a fake story can lead to real success is a bit of a paradox. Repeat after me. Paradox.
The third word is charismatic.
Charismatic. This describes a person who has a very strong and attractive personality that makes people want to like them or follow them.
Example 1. He was a very charismatic leader who could convince anyone of his ideas. Example 2. You don't need to be charismatic to be a good friend, but it helps in public speaking. Repeat after me. Charismatic.
The fourth word is skeptical.
Skeptical. If you are skeptical, you have doubts about something. You don't believe it right away because you want more proof.
Example 1. My grandmother is very skeptical of any news she reads on the internet. Example 2. It is good to be skeptical when someone promises you a way to get rich very quickly. Repeat after me. Skeptical.
And our final word is persistence.
Persistence. This is the quality of continuing to do something even though it is difficult or people are against you. It is about not giving up.
Example 1. Her persistence finally paid off when she got her dream job after 10 interviews. Example 2. Success in learning a language requires a lot of persistence and daily practice. Repeat after me. Persistence.
Those are such powerful words. I hope our listeners find ways to use them this week. Maybe you can even use one of them in your answer to our challenge.
That would be perfect. So, as we wrap up today's episode, here's one final tiny piece of advice. Next time you see a life-changing tip online or in a book, don't worry about whether the person is a perfect hero. Just ask yourself, does this specific tip work for me in my real life?
I love that. Be your own expert and remember, you are doing a great job. Learning a language is one of those things that requires that persistence we talked about, and the fact that you are here listening to us shows you have it.
It really does. Be kind to yourself today. You don't need a secret book or a guru to be successful. You just need to keep showing up, just like you did today.
Thank you for joining us in our cozy place. We can't wait to talk to you again in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.